Welcome back. After the break, we were talking about the exam paper and we reached question number 7.
30. Oh.
But before we go back to the exam paper, we received some questions during the break or during the session. All the questions went about causative, reported, wish, and passive voice. So we are going to quickly re-talk about them. Miss Ula, reported speech, please.
Okay, to start with, they need to put in mind 3 steps they're going to go through. They have to change the pronoun, they have to change the verb, and at some point they have to change some words, like now they have to change it into then, for example. So the close or the near need to be far.
Everything near becomes far. And when we start with a past introductory, he said the tense goes one
step back. So the present becomes past becomes past perfect, and etc.
Yes, so this is the reported speech. The reported question.
Reported question, now they have to put in mind that it's not a question anymore. So they have to use the subject and after that a verb. So if it's a question word, a question with a question word, we can use it and then we omit the do, for example, do, does, did. We don't need it to start with the subject, and then we can use the auxiliary verb, but they need to pay attention. It's not only about moving the auxiliary verb after the subject. The next step is to use it in the past.
Yeah. So we have 2 kinds of questions, WH questions and yes no question. For WH questions, do, does, did are dropped. And other auxiliaries, they move to the position after the subject, and we leave the question mark. For example, what is your name? He asked me
what my name was.
Your becomes my. What my name
was.
And in the question, it is what is your.
What is your name?
Is goes after
your name.
And your becomes my. Is goes one step back to be was. What my name was. Yes, no questions we use
if or whether.
To
connect between the 2 parts. He asked me if I know his name.
Yes.
If I knew
For
his name.
example, can you swim?
He asked me if I could swim.
If I could swim. Passive voice, Miss Abir.
Yeah. Passive voice, here we have to omit the subject, and we have to put the object instead of it at the beginning of the sentence. So passive voice here, we have to, the students should take care that all tenses should be, the verb will be verb 3 in past participle, in all tenses, even in the present. So the object here is at the beginning of the sentence, and then we have the object and verb 3. But in between them, we have to put according to the tense.
Let me simplify.
Yeah.
The object becomes at the beginning.
At the beginning of the sentence.
The verb goes to be verb 3. Between them, we use verb to be. In the simple present tense,
simple
we use
present tense
am or is or are. Simple past
was
or
were.
were. Present continuous or past continuous, we use being after verb to be. Past perfect and present perfect, we use been after verb to have. The future and all models simply we use be after them.
Yeah.
And for those who can't follow us now because it is not illustrated on the screen, they can rewatch the session. We explained everything about this grammar, but we are re-talking quickly about them. Miss Huda?
Yes, I'm going to talk about causative.
Causative,
having something done. For example, I will take this example here. My brother cut his hair himself. To make it causative, my brother didn't have it cut.
Didn't have his hair cut.
Okay. Another example, my brother didn't paint the room himself. So, in the causative, it is my brother had his room or the room painted.
Thank you so much.
So, have something done.
Yes. Wish. Miss Sana.
Okay, when we talk about the wishes, we are talking about the thing that opposite the reality. In this rule, we move a tense back when we use this rule. For example, the present become past, the past become past perfect, and the past perfect still past perfect. We don't change it. For example, you drive too fast. I wish you drove slowly. Now, drive is the present. We change it into the past. Another example, my room is too small. I wish it wasn't so small.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we can go back to our exam paper. We were talking about exercise 7, VII, and we stopped while we were explaining number 29. Omar is very nervous. We talked about this because he has an exam. He is waiting for an important email, something like this. Nervous. Ms. Ula, number 30.
When I was a child, here, as we've said earlier, if we have a past, it's better to use the past. So when I was a child, to follow the book, it's in the book, I was a member of the law society. It's in the book. But we can use any simple sentence with the subject and the verb in the past. For example, when I was a child, I played football. I used to visit my grandparents on Fridays.
I played football every day, every weekend. When I was a child, I used to go with my father to his factory.
So any sentence that it makes sense, but in the past.
You can't say when I was a child, I'm going to be rich or something like that. So we need it to be logical, and to be on the safe side, we said present, completed in the present or future. Past, completed in the past. It is better. Not the only solution. It is the best to keep on the safe side. But we have a lot of logical possibilities. We're not here to discuss them now before the exam. We're here to facilitate how students can do well tomorrow in their exam. We hope all students succeed, God willing. Miss Abir.
Yeah. The following exercise, choose the correct words in brackets. Here we have two choices and they have to choose the correct one. Ahmed went to the airport so that in order to meet his friend. So that needs a subject and a verb.
Close, yes.
Yeah, close. But in order to, it needs only a verb and it should be infinitive. So here we have meet, so we have to choose in order to.
Yes. So while studying, of course, students took that so that is followed with a clause. In order to is followed with an infinitive. And here we have infinitive. It's in order to. Miss Huda, 32.
Yes, 32. It would be awful if our car ran out of or ran into petrol. The answer is ran out of, having nothing left. So it would be awful if our car ran out of petrol.
Yes, thank you. Miss Sana.
Number 33. I've made myself a promise to work hard for the exam.
Here, we use difference between made
and make. Here we have the word promise. Promise need made, not make. Not done.
Not done, yes. Let's give more explanation about make and do for the students.
Okay.
If it is making something from something else, it is make. If it is just movement, like exercise, like homework, washing up, so it is do. This is difference between make and do, and we have if the word is from the mind, something from the mind like choice, suggestion, mind, all verbs that come from the mind take make. Make a suggestion, make a choice, make your mind. And we have something common, make your bed. Make your bed. So, to make it easier for the student, if it is kind of making something from something else, it's make. If it is kind of movement, do. With a promise, it is like suggestion, like choice, so it is make a promise. Yes, we move with Miss Hula to the tenses. To the tenses.
Yes. The first one, number 34, the police stop is the verb you if you drove too fast. Here we have an if clause.
If clause, so, conditional clause, type. Which type is it?
Second conditional, because we have drove.
Second conditional. Drove is past.
So the first part is going to be would stop.
Yes, so the police would course, with second conditional sentences, we use simple past with if and with the result. Here it is inverted. We started with the result.
They may get confused because of that.
Thank you. Would stop. Miss Sana, number 35.
Number 35. He looks very tired. He play football all mornings.
Now, what do we have in this sentence?
Okay, in this sentence, the most important thing is the word all.
All morning.
Yes, all morning.
Shows continuation.
Continuation, yes.
And what else, Miss? The result of an activity.
In the present.
So the activity took long.
A result in the present about past activity, and this is the present perfect continuous.
So the answer is he has been playing football all morning.
So we have two hints, all morning, and the present result of past activity that show
looks tired.
These two hints show that it is present perfect continuous.
Okay.
Miss Abir.
The scientists discuss new ways of saving energy at the moment. Here, at the moment, shows that the tense should be present continuous.
Present continuous,
yeah.
Because at the moment
scientists plural, so we should say the scientists are discussing.
The scientists are discussing new ways of saving energy at the moment. The key word or the key expression at the moment shows the present continuous. We come to translation exercise. Miss Ula.
Okay, number 37, and usually it's from the supplementary, but this is not always, so they have to put in mind that. Astronauts do research to study how long periods in space affect the human body. So here they have to read the sentence, the whole sentence, before they start translating, because how long periods in space, it needs reading, it needs understanding before start. The translation is يقوم رواد الفضاء بدراسة كيف تؤثر بأبحاث to study how long periods بدراسة أو بأبحاث how long periods in space كيف تؤثر مدة البقاء affect the human body على جسم الإنسان.
So here the student divides the sentence to parts. Astronauts do research to study. One part. How long periods in space affect the human body? Of course, we don't want word-by-word translation. We want a sentence.
We need to understand.
Astronauts do research to study.
يقوم رواد الفضاء بدراسة بأبحاث ليدرسوا كيف تؤثر مدة البقاء في الفضاء على جسم الإنسان أو الجسم البشري.
Yes, thank you.
So you see they need to read the whole sentence and repeat it.
على جسم البقاء لفترات طويلة في الفضاء على جسم الإنسان أو الجسم البشري. Of course, we have many possibilities.
Of course.
But this is the standard. From Arabic into English, Ms. Habir.
Now a description. No, sorry. Where is it? يقلل بناء المصانع خارج المدن من التلوث فيها. Here we have to change it into English. Building factories outside cities reduces pollution there.
So the student needs to know that in Arabic we start the sentence with the
verb. No, with the verb.
But in English we start with the noun.
No.
So building factories, then the verb.
Then the verb.
Reduces,
decreases,
lessons are accepted. خارج المدن,
outside
the cities. So reduces what? The pollution in them.
Or there.
Order. So building factories outside the cities reduces the pollution there or in them.
And 8 marks for it.
Yes, we have 8 marks for the translation.
But English to Arabic 10 marks.
10 marks.
English to Arabic 10 marks for the scientific section.
Yeah.
For the literary section, both are 10 marks. But this issue can be dealt with in the correcting center. Here we are helping the students to be able to answer, and we arrived at the last question, which is composition. Miss Sana is going to talk to us about it.
Okay. Actually, writing a paragraph summarizes what a student has learned during his academic or educational life. Now, I have just written some notes about the paragraph. How to evaluate the composition. In the scientific section, it's got 50 marks, divided into 5 parts. Each one has 10 marks. The first one is communication. The text should be coherent and organized. It means we should put an introduction, the body, and the conclusion of the text. Students here shouldn't use only simple sentences. They also should use the compound sentences to make it better. Now, the second one is spelling and pronunciation. It means punctuation marks and the spelling mistakes. Now, the third one is the vocabulary. Using diverse and appropriate vocabulary in accordance with the content. Now, the fourth one is the grammar. We just talked about that. Now, the last one is the task response, which means the students' response to the task assigned to them. This may cause the student losing full marks of the graph if it was
wrong.
Well,
it was wrong. Yeah.
If you allow me, I will summarize what you have just said. In the exam, the student is going to have his sheet, his exam book corrected in the composition field according to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. We have task response. So for the scientific section, 50 marks for the composition and 66 for the literary section. If the student wrote about the task asked in the question, immediately he takes the marks allotted for this section, 10 for the scientific section and 13 for the literary section. So immediately he takes the marks for this section. Then we come to vocabulary. If the student used in his composition correct vocabulary, what do we mean by correct vocabulary? For example, sometimes a student may use a correct word but not suitable for the position. For
not
example,
related to the...
He may write, I drank water in a bag. Usually we don't drink in a bag, we drink in a glass. The vocab here, bag, is correct. The spelling and the meaning is correct, but not suitable for this position. So choosing the correct vocabulary, if he chose the correct vocabulary, immediately he takes the marks for this section. Nice. Now for the scientific, he has got 20 and 26 for the literary section. We come to punctuation. Punctuation and spelling. Spelling and punctuation, we have 10 marks in the scientific section and 13 in the literary. If the student used full stops, commas, and after full stops, capital letter, he gets the marks allotted for this section. What do we mean by communication? It means the smoothness of the sentences. Are the sentences coherent, smooth, connected in a good way? He takes the marks for this section. And the grammar field, the student needs to write correct grammar. If he has mistakes, he will lose some marks. And usually the first 2 mistakes, spelling or grammar, are overlooked. But then we deduct a mark for every mistake. So the student will not take 0 if he wrote something. He will take some marks according to what we have just explained. Ms. Ola, I think you have something to add about how to write a paragraph, how to start. What do we write in the middle? How to end?
Okay. To start with, they need to read the question, the composition, write a composition about something. So the introduction can be derived from the question sentence.
Yes. So here it
rephrase it in a way or another.
Description of a building you know well. Okay. The student can start, I'm going to describe the building I live in.
Exactly. So you need to give information about the paragraph you're going to write. We need to understand.
Now, how many words should the student write?
The student, they are supposed to be writing at least, no less than 80 words. No less than.
70
so at
I
least
think from 70 to 80.
70 to 80, he gets full mark. 60 to 78 or 79, we start deducting some marks from every field we mentioned. So the lesser he writes, the less marks he gets. If he didn't write more than 3 or 4 sentences, he is going to take some marks, 5 marks for every sentence. So he will not take 0 if he wrote, but according to the amount. What if the student wrote 100 words?
I think that's okay.
It's okay, because no
so
less.
More than 80 is okay, but the problem is if he had mistakes for grammar and spelling. So since he doesn't need to write more than 80, it's better not to write more than 80. Then the body.
Then the body, at least he has to mention 3 ideas about the building. The size of the building, the color, maybe the surrounding, for example, of the building. After that, the conclusion, which is supposed to be a summarize. He has to summarize the paragraph or rephrase the introduction, for example, or a comment or
1 or 2 sentences to summarize what he has written as conclusion.
Or they can rephrase the introduction. It's
topic sentence at the beginning.
Or give an opinion, but we prefer not to mention I if it's not necessary. To mention the subject pronoun I.
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Siva, can we see the vocabulary? Yes, English for starters 12. English for starters 12. Yes? The second one? Not this one.
The green one.
Yeah, the green one. To the right. Not this one. Yes.
Yes.
English for starters, vocabulary revision, and Miss Ula is going to start.
Okay, so we know we have dealt with the grammar. Now the whole book has different subjects on vocabulary. To start with, we have the words with different meanings.
Yes,
the
words with more than one meaning.
More than one meaning. For example, we have a society. Society has 2 different meanings. The first one is a club or organization for people with the same interest, and the second one is all the people living in the country. Here we have examples on these. The first one, when I was a student, I was a member of the law society. Society in this sentence means club or organization. The second sentence, a strong legal system is important in a modern society. In this society, we mean the people living in the country.
Yes. Next, Ms. Hiba.
Ruler is another example.
Yes. Ms. Abir, can you read?
Someone in charge of a country.
So 2 meanings.
Yeah, 2 meanings. The first one is someone in charge of a country, such as a king. He is a ruler. A straight piece of wood or plastic to help you.
The second meaning is a straight piece of wood.
Or plastic to help you draw straight lines.
Yes. Tutankhamun
was a very famous Egyptian ruler. This is the first one, an example for the first one. Someone in charge. I'm doing my math homework. Can I borrow your ruler, please? And this is the second one.
It is the piece, yes. Next, Ms. Hiba. Court. Miss.
No, there is,
Huda.
I think there's
property.
Yes, property.
Property. Property can have 2 meanings.
Has to mean, yes. Land and buildings.
Yes.
Something that belongs to someone.
Yes.
Number 1, taking another person's property. Property is theft. This is
taking another person's property is a theft. Here is the second meaning.
The price of property in the city has increased dramatically this year. And this is the second one. Yes, price.
Land or building.
Property.
Yeah.
Building.
Yes, thank you. Second. Next.
Court, which means area where people play games like tennis and squash. The second meaning...
So the playground for tennis or squash is called court.
Yeah.
The second meaning?
The second meaning is place where trials take place. For example, in the final of the championship, the players were on a court for 2 hours. The second one, 3 men will appear in a court tomorrow accused of dangerous driving.
So the first sentence means the pitch or the place where they play, the playground. The second is the place where a trial takes place. Next, Ms. Hiba. Fine. Again, it can be an adjective and it can be a noun. When it's an adjective, it means
very good. Very good.
Very good. Very good. And when it's a noun,
it's money.
The money people pay as a punishment for doing something illegal. Miss Sana, read the two sentences.
Okay. The first one, he did a fine job of washing my car.
Is it an adjective or a noun here?
This is adjective.
Adjective.
Okay, this means very well.
Great or
very good job. The second one, he had to pay a fine because he was driving without insurance. Here, fine means it's a noun, which means money.
Money paid for doing something.
For government.
Next, Miss Siva. Type. Again, type has two meanings. It can be a verb and it can be a noun. When it's a verb, it is using a machine.
Typing.
And when it's a noun,
it means kind or sort.
Kind or sort.
Like secretaries used to spend most of their time typing letters and reports. By this type, we mean write using a machine.
Yes.
What type of music do you like best? Type, it means a kind or sort.
Yes. Next, Ms. Hiba.
This is
word families.
Word family. This we had a question about word families.
Okay. Yes, let's move, Ms. Hiba. Okay.
These are examples from the book, of course.
Many people believe that the worst crimes are murder and other. Here we are going to derive from the word violence.
Yes.
Violence is a noun. But here we have act.
It's preceded by a noun.
We want an adjective.
Adjective,
so the adjective of violence is violent. We received a question on the platform about the rule of derivation. We don't have a rule for derivation. We need to learn them. Sometimes we may have some rules for
similarities or something.
For example, we add meant or shin to a verb to make it a noun. But for the student, it's better to learn it as it is in the book. Violent from violence.
Here we have more than one example. For example, violence is a noun, violent adjective. We have innocence, again noun, innocent adjective. So they can find some similarities to understand.
So there would be we have chaos and we have law. We're going to derive the adjective from chaos and the adjective from law.
Okay, can I do it?
Yes.
Okay. Number two. Number two. There would be a chaotic situation in society. Chaotic situation in society
is a noun.
If there were no legal system. Okay.
Legal
Both
is
of
the
them are
adjective
adjectives.
derived from law. Yes. C. Miss Huda.
Yes. He left court a free man because he had proved that he was innocent. Is the adjective of the noun innocence. The jury said he wasn't guilty.
Guilty. So here we added y to the noun guilt to make it an adjective, but not all words can go in the similar way. But this rule can help us to distinguish between the adjective and the noun. For the students, the best way as answering to the question on the platform to learn the words as they are in the book so that they know that this is an adjective and this is a noun. Can we move, Ms. Hiba?
Different exercise now.
Yes, we have. Okay, let's stop here. Color idioms. This is something nice to talk about. We have idioms from colors. Ms. Ola.
Now we have the idioms and they need to know the meanings of the idiom because they won't guess the meaning from the words of the idiom.
And this exercise can be to choose between two things.
Exactly. And they can be used like this. Out of the blue, unexpectedly. They need to understand the meaning of out of the blue. Out of the blue, it means unexpectedly.
So suddenly and unexpectedly out of the blue.
Red tape, it means paperwork and administration.
Yes.
To be in black and white, it means printed.
Clear. Printed and clear. Black and white.
To see red, it means to get very angry. To give the green line, it means to say yes. To put someone on the blacklist, it means to tell the public they have done something wrong. Now we can use some exercises to show the meaning.
Can we move, Ms. Hiba? Okay. No, it was good back, Ms. Hiba.
Step back.
Step back. Yeah, okay. Letter A, Miss Abir.
When he accused me of being wasteful, I
got angry.
I saw red.
Yeah.
I saw it. The exercise can be I saw, two choices. I saw green, I saw blue, I saw red. So the student needs to know that
because
saw red
angry, saw red
is the meaning of get angry. B, Miss Huda.
We have to stop companies from polluting the environment. We should
put them on the blacklist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put
them on the blacklist.
Stop somebody from doing something is to put him on the blacklist. Miss Sana, C.
C. They have space to the building of a new incinerator.
They have given
the green light.
They
have given the green light to building of a new incinerator. Miss Saula.
The rules clearly say that we must not leave rubbish outside our homes. Look, it's in black and white, and we should keep the order. It's black and white, not white and black. It's this way. Fixed position. Exactly. So it's in black and white.
So it's clear, it's printed here. Look, it's printed here. Miss Abir, the following one.
It's almost impossible to get a passport quickly. There is so much
here. Red tape.
Red tape. Yeah.
So a lot of routine work.
Red tape.
Yes. Huda, I
heard this morning that I would won a writing competition. I think the answer should be I heard this morning
out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
Unexpectedly.
Yes, or suddenly. I heard this morning out of the blue that I had won a writing competition.
Yeah.
Next, Miss Hiba.
Again, idioms.
Idioms, pick and choose, nearest and dearest, odds and ends, far and wide, hustle and bustle. And these words go together. So the question can be choosing from two choices, or it can be filling in the spaces. So the student needs to know when he sees nearest, the corresponding word is dearest. Miss Ola, letter A.
Start with people come from.
To see the Umayyad Mosque in the center of Damascus.
In the center of Damascus. So it's far and wide.
Far and wide.
People come from far and wide to see the Umayyad Mosque in the center of Damascus.
Yes. Miss Huda.
Number B. I love spending time with my nearest and dearest. So we often have family get together.
Yes. Nearest and dearest. Close friends. Yes. C. Miss Abir.
While I was on holiday, I bought lots of
odds and ends. Different things.
To give as presents.
Miss Sana.
Letter D. There are lots of restaurants near here. You can pick and choose from about 50.
Yes, pick and choose. We have plenty. Miss Ola.
Some people enjoy the hustle and bustle of shopping in street markets.
Yeah, thank you. Let's move. We come to music idioms. Again, this is a nice thing to talk about. Blow your or his own trumpet means to clarify yourself, or boost.
Boost or say good things
about oneself. Yes, the meaning boost, say good things about oneself. Miss Sana, change your
or his tune. It means change one's mind.
So when you change your mind, it means you change your tune. Miss Huda?
Drum something into someone. Teach by frequent repetition.
So when you repeat, this is done usually with children.
Yes.
You drum something into your children. You repeat it many times.
Yes.
Miss Abir?
Face the music. It means accept punishment.
Yes. When someone does something illegal, he will face the music. He will receive kind of punishment.
Now we can use them in sentences.
Yes. Miss Ola?
Layla is very good at blowing her own trumpet, so she'll probably get that job.
Yes, at blowing her own trumpet. Say she will. Miss Huda?
Yes. If you break the law, you have to face the music.
If you break the law, you have to face the music. Miss Habir?
The importance of crossing the road safely is
drummed into children.
Children when they are very young.
Miss Sana.
Letter D. Omar said he was going to buy a Porsche. But okay, it's a kind of car. But he
changed
his tune when he discovered the price.
The price. Actually,
he changed his mind.
We
yes.
are shocked when we see the price. Next, Miss Hiba.
Phrasal verbs is something again. Besides.
Again, next. We have some phrasal verbs. We are going to talk about their meanings. Miss Ula.
Three-part phrasal verbs. By phrasal verbs, we mean we have a main verb and a preposition, for example, 2 or 3. One or two.
Particles.
Particles, exactly. Now, the first one is keep up with. By keep up with, we mean to know the latest information. Keep up with.
Be updated.
Be updated, exactly.
Keep up with the latest news. Yes.
Cut down on, it means to reduce.
So we usually say cut down on sugar,
for example,
or meat. Cut down on means reduce.
To come up against. Against, it means to meet or face. And most probably, when we have problems, we come up against these problems.
Come up against means to meet or face.
Look forward to, it means to wait with pleasure for something to happen. Look forward to.
I just want to add something. Yes. Look forward to is always followed by infinitive.
Yes. With a gerund. With a gerund. If it is I am looking forward to hearing, or I look forward to hearing. So look forward is always followed with a gerund. Yes, thank you.
Next one, come up with, it means to invent or discover or find. Same meaning.
So put up with. Yes. Put up with.
Put up with, to accept, to stand or tolerate. Something usually unpleasant.
We say, I can't put up with my roommate. She's always messy, for example.
I can't put up with the noise if I live near the bus
station. I can't stand the noise. I can't put up with the noise. Yes. Next, Ms. Hiba.
Now, again, examples.
Yes, examples, exercises.
Things.
Things.
I will do number one.
No, Ms. Hiba, go back, please. Yes. Number one, Huda.
Things are moving so fast, it's impossible to keep up with the changes.
Yes, keep up with the changes. Yes. Too fast.
Too fast, yes.
Yes. B, Miss Sana.
Letter B, supermarkets should, I think, cut down on
packaging. Yes. C, we have
come up against serious problems in our plan to recycle rubbish. Come up against, because we have serious problems.
Yes.
I'm
looking 100. I'm looking forward to the day when 100% of our rubbish is recycled.
Have it just here come up with.
Came up with. Yes.
I've just come up with.
Yes.
I've just come
up
with a new, because come. Come up with a new way of reprocessing plastic. Letter F.
The last one, letter F. People living near the bus station put up with a lot of noise.
Put up with a lot of noise. What do you have next? Phrasal verbs with make.
Again, make.
We have make off, make up, make up for. Make off means
to think about or understand.
Make up, the second meaning is make up, invent. So when you make off, you understand. When you make up, you invent a story.
It's usually with a story or excuse.
Yeah, sometimes you make something better by making it up. For example, make up exam. If a student failed kind of exam, he can have a make up exam to improve it. But here it can mean invent as well. Make up for to replace something lost or missing. Next. Exercise. Miss Ola is going to do it.
Ibrahim usually arrives at work on time, so his boss didn't know what to make of.
To make of it.
When he was an hour late one morning. At first, he thought he might make up an excuse, but decided he must be honest. Ibrahim promised he would make up for the time he had lost by being late.
So to compensate for the time. I think, dear colleagues, this is enough for today's session. It's time for the students to have a break and to continue revising for exam. We wish them good luck. Dear students, at the end of our session, allow me to thank my colleagues in the studio, Ms. Abir Al-Hassan, English teacher, Damascus Countryside Directorate, Ms. Ula Al-Moui, English supervisor, Tartus Directorate, Ms. Huda Ibrahim, English teacher, Damascus Directorate, and Ms. Sana Ismail, English teacher, Damascus Countryside Directorate, and me, Abdul Majid Overly, coordinator of the English curriculum of the